Guess what? There's a big TV star right behind these doors. Stay tuned and I'll introduce you to him. The Pet Department's coming up. Hey everybody, welcome to the Pet Department. I'm Steve Walker and this is my dog Jack, and I have to tell you, Jack is a little bit nervous today. He's just a little bit starstruck today because we have a big movie star and TV star in the house. Okay, I'm not gonna go there yet. First of all, I want to welcome you to the show. Tell you that we're the show that helps you find a pet, care for a pet, and enjoy a pet. And on today's program, meet our road test guest today. The American Shorthair Cat is our road test. See these cats? They came over. Well, not these exact cats, but this breed of cat came over on the Mayflower, believe it or not, and I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what has happened to them since then on today's program. Also on today's show, Jane Fergus is, oh no, I'm not there yet. Also on today's show, now I'll tell you who the big TV star is. Take a look at this picture and see if you can identify this dog, can you? Well, it says so right on it. It's Wishbone, and he is the dog in the PBS series Wishbone, and we have him live. Look at that. And look at the cool tricks he does. He can jump up. Can he wave or speak or something, Jackie? He can scratch. Good one. We're not only going to meet Wishbone, who I can't say enough good things about this television series if you haven't seen it. We're going to meet the dog. We're going to meet the trainer. We're going to find out how she gets Wishbone to do all those amazing tricks and just find out about him as a dog. Where's my own star dog? Back there looking for food. Typical back there. Okay, now Jane Fergus is standing by outside in Madison Square Park, where I happen to know she's a vision in red today.
Oh, yes, Steve.
And you've got some interesting products to show us today.
That's right. We're talking about exercise today. You know, exercise is really important for your dog, especially if Jack is taking snacks. But it doesn't have to be boring. I have a bunch of pet products like this. It's called a Nifty Pet Exerciser, and I'm going to be showing them all to you and telling you this is L'Oreal. Maybe you don't want to play today.
I tell you, none of the dogs are very cooperative yet on today's program. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I did. But we'll have to see. We have some really fun products to show you, and I'm sure they'll get involved.
They'll be very fun. Now, Jane, do you remember a while ago on this show I showed a picture of myself in college?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember the exact word you used to describe me?
I think it was nerd.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. So I found the St. John's University yearbook, which just happens to be the college where Jane Fergus went to college. I'm going to open it up to page 305, and if you can get a real nice tight shot there.
I'm going to kill you.
Look, it's Jane Fergus. Now, I thought she looked a little bit like Leather Tuscadero. I don't know.
Oh, but I'll have to go, wait, was this?
That's it. Okay. Could you suck those cheekbones in any further, though? Look at the girl next to you, though.
Hair.
Yeah, Mary Fenton. She could have a family of 6 living in that hair up there, and no one would ever know. I don't think you look too bad, Jane. I think you did pretty darn good.
Oh, thanks, Steve. You know, you could have gone either way, and I appreciate you.
No, I think it's way too good of a picture, and I think you need to bring in a way worse picture in the future, all right?
Okay.
All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. Oh, we can't. We're going to show Jack's tricks. That's right. I mentioned that Wishbone is here, and Jack's feeling just a little bit left out because, after all, he's the star of a television show as well, right? So Lou's got a couple treats here. I have taught Jack a number of tricks over the last few years. He knows a lot of tricks. And recently I taught him a couple of new ones that I thought I would share with y'all. So come on over here, Jack. I'll show you the funny one first. Ready? Come here. There you go. Have a seat. This is a funny one. Roll over. Roll over. See, he's got it. Come on. Roll over. There, he did it. See, he has a little problem with that because of his bad leg. And this is the strange one. Have a seat. There you go. And can you sit up and stay? Nope. Sit up, stay, stay. He's like, oh, 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 there he did it, okay. But it's good for him because he has that bad leg, and so it really helps him strengthen that leg. And he learned those tricks very quickly, and those are 2 more tricks that you can teach your dog. Maybe I'll show you how to do rollover, because it's very easy. First you start just by having him lay down, and then you have him sort of lay down on his side. There you go. And sometimes you might have to help him a little bit. Roll over. Yeah, roll over. Come on, Jack. You see. Then he turns around instead. But he doesn't get the treat if he does that. All right. Someday I'll show you the whole complete thing about how to teach rollover, and we'll see if Wishbone can do that maybe for us later. But right now it's time for a Pet Department road test. I mentioned that the American Shorthair Cats came over on the Mayflower. They did indeed. The whole idea was during this long trip, they were trying to keep the number of rats and mice down on the ship because they had stores of grain and that sort of thing. So they brought these guys over, and they're excellent, excellent mousers. And since then, they remain sort of a sturdy farm cat, and they continue to be good at mousing. They come in lots of different colors, and they've been shown in the cat show ring and cat show world since the late 1800s. Judy Thomas is here to tell us about the American Shorthair Cat.
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Very well,
I'm
thank
sorry
you.
I didn't come down before the show and say hello to you. Things got kind of crazy.
You're a little busy.
With Wishbone and everything,
Yeah.
but welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Do these cats retain a lot of the characteristics that those original cats that came over on the Mayflower had?
Well, these guys are only about 100 years away from barn cats, so they're still really good mousers and active, and all the reasons that we brought them over with us on the Mayflower, they're still good for having around the house.
I understand they have a really nice temperament, too.
They do. They're generally very mellow, laid back, easygoing cats for the most part. Of course, I'm sitting here with the prima donna of the American Shorthair world. But
Yeah. They're a lot like dogs in that regard, then, aren't they?
as far as temperament is concerned, yes, they are. They're good companions.
Yeah.
And she's going to,
That's okay.
That's her granddaughter that she's checking out down
Well,
there.
she's got a lot to check out here, a lot of cameras and all that, but she seems to be doing just fine.
That's Katie.
They come in a lot of different colors, too, don't they?
Over 60, actually.
Wow.
And I think we have about 4 or 5 different varieties to show you today.
Yeah.
The most common is the silver tabby, but we don't have any today.
Is there any way when I'm looking at an American Shorthair that I just know it is? Are there characteristics that we can look for?
Yeah, as opposed to your regular short-haired cat, they have a shorter, broader face with a very broad, squared muzzle.
I actually kind of noticed that on the... Oh, let's sneak out of here and maybe we can show you. I don't know if it's developed yet or not on the kittens, but
Yeah, you see the sort of like a matchbox muzzle,
Right,
squared at
right.
the corners.
I also understand that these are very hardy and sturdy cats. They don't have a lot of medical problems associated with the
Nope.
breed.
There are no genetic problems that I know of associated with the breed, and they're less prone to a lot of diseases
It's a pretty
than some
amazing
cats.
thing considering the fact that these guys have been around for 100 years or so. I guess that says a lot about the breeders and having been careful about keeping those kinds of diseases out of the lines.
Partly that, and partly we have a really wide gene pool.
I see.
So we have a lot more to choose from.
Okay. They're long-lived cats in a lot of cases if you take good care of them. Can live as long as what, 18, 20 years?
My oldest was 17, but
Yeah.
but I've known them to live to be 20.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about the American Shorthair cat, would you say, Judy?
I like their temperaments. They sort of match. I have a Labrador Retriever, and my cats match my dog, and they
Yeah.
match my temperament because they're laid back and easygoing.
You do seem very laid back and easygoing, and I thank you for bringing the cats in and being so very good about describing what makes them such a good cat. Let me summarize Pet Department Road Test for y'all, and then we'll see if we forgot anything about the American Shorthair. They're pretty standard in terms of the price that you're going to pay for these guys, depending on whether it's show quality or not. They're fine in an apartment as long as they still get their exercise, run around either with you or another cat. Hairballs, that's all we could dig up on these guys. No other real big medical problems. You're going to have to learn, how to clip the nails and just keep their coat combed. And as I said, they can be a long-lived cat. They're really, really a fine cat, especially for a first cat owner, because
Really
they
good.
would have a good temperament.
Nothing unusual about them. They're
All right.
nice,
But
easygoing.
Other than they're just a splendid cat to have around. Thank you very much, Judy, for bringing these guys in.
Thank you,
Stick
Steve.
around. Have you ever seen Wishbone, that
Yes,
TV
I
show?
have.
It's a fine television show, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Well, stick around. We're going to meet not only the dog, but the trainer. So the Pet Department will return with all of that. But up next, some great products that will keep your pooch from getting a pouch. The Pet Department returns in just a moment. Ah, there's a rat in the house! Help! Help! Oh, just kidding. It's just our photo du jour today. What a fine one, though. Take another look at it. This is Stormy the rat, owned by Robin McClanahan of Beverly Hills, California. She put Stormy in her dollhouse, and that's where you got this funny-looking picture. And it did frighten me for just a second. If you'd like to send us a picture of your pet, rat, bird, cow, chicken, dog, cat, I don't care what it is, I'd like to see it. Send it to the Pet Department, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, here in New York City. Our address is, or our zip code is 10159-0825. I have said many, many times on this program that I believe one of the #1 problems when it comes to pet health is obesity. Our dogs and our cats are just getting too darn fat, and dogs especially. So today, Jane Fergus is outside with some products that are going to help our pooches slim down. Hey, Jane.
Hi, Steve. And you know how some people need a personal trainer to get in shape?
Right?
Well, if you're a dog owner, then you're basically your dog's personal trainer. So
I've never thought about it in those
Isn't
terms
that great?
before.
And I have a couple of products that are going to help you with your fitness regime. The
Okay.
first one here is the Soft Bite floppy disk. It's basically a soft Frisbee, and look how flexible this is.
And the neat thing about this is, you know, I had that unfortunate Frisbee incident with Jack where I threw it at him and bonked him in the nose, and now he's
Right.
afraid of Frisbees. This won't do that.
Right, check this out. Here, we have L'Oreal over here. L'Oreal, you interested in catching this? I don't think so, but we'll give it a try. All right.
No.
You see, now, he didn't see it, and if it had hit him, if that was a hard Frisbee,
That's
it
right.
would have hurt him.
And
You
those
can get
things
this-
float also.
They float and they fly. You can get that between $4 and $11. This is the Nifty Pet Exercise Toy, and I know it just looks like a simple stick with a string and a tennis ball, but I know
Right.
that Jack liked this one. And we're going to see if L'Oreal wants to get involved. Yes, Jack, come here.
There's a lot of distractions out there, so the toys might not be going over as well as they would if she was inside. But
It's true. There are a couple of
so the
distractions
dog,
out
I
here.
saw Jack playing with this. The dog grabs a hold of the ball, and what? You drag it around?
You drag it around, and you can kind of fool around by taking this string here.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and then you can kind of pull it in. And
Okay.
the fun thing about this is that at the end, when your dog gets tired and doesn't want to pick up the tennis ball, you don't even have to get up off the bench. You just kind of pull it in.
Right.
For the lazy dog
Shane's
owner.
into these lazy toys.
This one I like. This is a non-pressurized tennis ball. It's only $1.25. It still bounces. It's still colorful, but when your dog goes to chase it and bites into it, it won't explode.
That's a good idea. Who
And-
makes that?
This is by Max 200.
Okay.
And finally, the freebie, just the old stick.
Thank you.
The only problem you have with this is you have to make sure that the bark isn't loose and that it's not rotted at all.
Exactly. Okay, I also happen to know, now have you done the tug-of-war toys yet, or were those just the fetch toys?
The tug-of-war, yeah, those are just the fetch toys. We have
Okay.
the tug-of-war toys here. This is for a really big dog.
Yeah.
It's cotton, it's washable. A small one will cost you about $7, a large one about $18. And the nice thing about this is that it also gives the teeth and gums a little workout. It'll actually clean the teeth.
Right. And those
And-
wear out too, by the way. Even though that's huge, they will wear out. It's
Oh,
amazing.
yeah, they do, and machine washable, which is
Right.
nice. We have a rubber one here, kind of same type of thing. This is a little more stretchy, a little more flexible,
Right.
and this one will go about $14.
Okay.
And this is another one that I like. It's kind of a combo of the tennis ball and the tug-of-war. If you drop that down, you
Then
can,
it's a ball, right.
Yeah, it's a ball. This is also non-pressurized. This is from Max 200, and that's only about $6. Also really colorful and nice.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to lose the cheapies, the old tube sock.
Do you know,
can't
whose,
go wrong
do you know
with
whose
it.
sock that is, Jane?
Oh, no.
Give it a whiff and I'll let you know. It's mine!
Paybacks, I suppose.
It's
but this is, you
mine.
know, standard, tried and true, and it's free. Just take the old sock out of your drawer.
The only thing, though, I might mention is if you ever play tug-of-war with your dog with your own sock, they'll get the scent and they'll think that it's okay to chew any sock. And that's not a good thing.
They'll
So,
constantly be going after your feet.
yeah,
We
so
have
make
one
sure.
more.
Okay.
We have one more. It's the Canine Cruiser here. And I'm going to get out of the way so I can show you how this works. It basically attaches to the back wheel of your bicycle.
Right.
And your dog runs or walks alongside it.
And that's
nice-
it's a great thing. How much is that?
That's $40. So if you want to spend a couple of extra dollars, you can get that.
I think that's fine to do. The only thing is you have to invest in a little bit of training. Wouldn't you agree, Jane, in order to get the dog
Absolutely.
used
It
to
can be
that?
really dangerous because if you try to do it too fast, your dog could actually get his nose caught in between the spokes, and it can be pretty dangerous.
Now, you have left one huge toy here in the apartment for us to try with Jack.
I
This
did.
thing is a doggy treadmill, is that right?
That's right. That's right. That's like the Cadillac of dog toys.
And Jack's on it now. And how much does something like this cost?
That's about, I think it's over $1,000.
Wow, so it's like
Yeah.
$1,100 to $1,300 or
Right,
something.
right.
And
And the
again,
things-
spend some
right, the
time. We sort of worked with Jack. As you can see, he's getting it slowly, and food never hurts. But we worked with him, and it took about a day, but it'll probably take your dog a week to get him on this. And the only other thing I would say about that is, you can turn it off, is that you have to be careful because your dog can only have so much stamina, and you can actually use it too much. But
Right. You should listen to your dog. When your dog gets tired, it means that he wants to stop exercising.
That's
you should
right.
probably quit for the day.
That's right. I like the ones where the owner has to be there and you're interactive that you showed at the beginning, Jane.
Yeah, I do too.
Jane, thank you. And do you know, I have a confession to make, Jane.
Uh-oh, what?
Well,
What did you do?
I've kind of been wondering what you've been up to lately because you've been acting very strange.
Uh-huh.
So here's what I did. I installed a security camera in your office.
Oh, no.
You're so silly. I never knew that you had such a wonderful sense of humor. This is so great. You know, I'm really glad we were able to do this tonight. I'm having a wonderful time. So, tell me, more about my eyes. Are they really sparkly? Really? Stop looking at me like that.
So, do you like working on this show, Jane?
Jack's a good date.
Yeah. Does he pay?
Yes.
It wasn't Dutch treat or anything?
No, it wasn't Dutch treat.
Yeah, and you
no.
know where you got the money, too. All right.
Your wallet?
Yes, credit cards. Thank you very much, Jane Fergus.
You're welcome.
Hey, don't go anywhere, everybody, because we're going to show you how they get Wishbone to do all those amazing things on his TV show. The Pet Department returns with a TV dog star in just a second. There are lots of dogs on television, of course, but only one who plays the classics, and he's with us today along with his trainer. This is Wishbone and his trainer, Jackie Captan. Thanks for coming in today.
Oh, my
It's a really pleasure. It's a pleasure to meet you. You actually had to audition for the role of Wishbone, isn't that right?
Yes, there was 100 dogs or more that auditioned for it,
Yeah.
and I was lucky enough to get the chance.
Why do you think Wishbone got the job?
Our producer, Rick Duffield, I believe, really liked a couple of his tricks.
I heard it's the backflip.
The backflip and Scratch-a-Flea. on a
Yeah.
few.
Can you show us that one?
I
Well, he's
give-
doing it right now. Good job.
I can try the backflip. I can give
Well,
it a
I'll tell you
try.
what. We'll save that maybe for the very end of the show
Okay.
to give you guys both time to set up for that. Were you surprised by the success of the show once you started? You said you did 6 of them, and then
Right.
it really became a very popular show, didn't it?
It did. It went over very well. I wasn't really surprised. It has such a good storyline. It's so wonderful to promote children to
Right.
read classic literature.
Yeah. We actually have a little clip of the show, and as we watch it, it sort of gives you an idea of some of the things that Wishbone can do. Here you've got him actually shooting a bow and arrow, which is amazing. I'll ask you how he did that in a second. But then you'll see that here I believe he's playing Robin Hood, and so he stands there, and you hear the voice of an actor saying his lines and sort of reading his thoughts. And through this format, you've been able to teach the classics to children today. Robin Hood, Dickens, Mark Twain, Shakespeare, and how it relates sort of to their everyday life and how the classics really stand up. How did you get him to do the bow and arrow? Is that like a fake dog paw that held the arrow back?
It was a fake dog paw. Special effects had to help me out on that one.
Yeah.
They pulled the arrow with
Right.
a fake paw. We put him in a costume, so it's him in the costume, his body,
Right.
and a fake paw.
But you still had to get him used to all of the things going on around him, like the bow and like the
Right.
cameras.
You
and all
have to
of
get
that.
used to special effects working behind him, making sure that his alignment is right so it really looks like his
Right.
leg. So it takes some concentration.
You mentioned the costumes, and actually the costumer won an Emmy Award. Congratulations to
Right.
them
Thank
for
you.
the series. Is it tough getting him to wear the costumes? He was wearing the hat and the pants a while ago.
Mm-hmm. The costumes aren't really that tough. We have great costumers on the show that if something's bothering him, it's too tight, they readjust it
I
for
see.
me. Flip and Scratch-a-Flea was the hardest. It threw him off balance for the flip.
Uh-huh.
He had to get used to that. Scratch-a-Flea, he couldn't feel his neck, and it was a little different. But it was pretty easy.
You do what a lot of animal trainers do, I guess, and that's get a dog to hit his mark and go sort of from
Right.
point A to point B.
Right.
Can you do anything and kind of show us here some of the tricks or some of the secrets that you use to get him to do some of the things on the show?
I don't have a mark board with me, but I
Mm-hmm.
can show you how we approach the chair. Like he has to come in. I will rehearse him first and bridge him in the
Okay,
chair.
okay.
I'll show him that this is his end point. Give him
A
a piece
bridge,
of
for those
food.
people who don't know the training terminology, that means they've done it correctly and they get their reward.
Right.
So.
I show him the end first.
You show that first, so you work backwards.
I like to do that. That way he knows his end position.
Okay.
Then I take him out of the chair. All
Okay.
right. Come. Bring him in by the door.
Okay.
Turn around. Sit. Stay. All right. Go jump. Hup. Turn around and sit.
Wow, that's amazing.
Speak.
And does he usually get it on the first try like that?
He does, and it's much easier, I believe, for a dog to go backwards so he knows his
Right.
end goal,
Right.
opposed to going the other way.
Right. How much rehearsal do you have to do to get him to do the specific things that he does? Because there's so many different things on the show. You rehearse it the night before?
I rehearse over the weekends. I pick something that maybe he doesn't know or is not his favorite trick, and I'll work him through that. For a scene, I only get 2 to 5 minutes rehearsing. I break it down into small segments, and then I put it all together for him.
Well, the end result is really charming, and it's a great
Thanks.
educational program for children. I hope it runs for a very long time, and I want to thank you, Jackie Captan,
Thank
and
you.
Wishbone for coming in and seeing us today. And actually, we're going to keep in this little dog TV show theme with our question of the day today. It has to do with Lassie. That show was on the air for a long time. Do you know how many years? I'll tell you, and maybe we'll see Wishbone's backflip, so don't go anywhere. Lassie was on the air for 17 years, all of it on CBS. Do you remember watching Timmy and
Yeah, I
Lassie?
do. I love Lassie.
Yeah, I think 3 different names for the show, but it lasted for a very long time. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. We can't be sure that Wishbone will do the backflip, but Jackie's going to give it the best shot. Maybe we can have a little fanfare music in case he does it. You ready?
Okay, stay. Ready? Ready? Flip! Attaboy!
That was a pretty good
Not too
one.
bad.
Very
Very
nicely
good.
done. How long did it take you to teach him to do that?
It was about 3 months, and it's something you can't force him to do. You have to
Right.
just build his confidence.
I thought it was interesting that you don't always use food as a reward. In this case, it was the ball, and a lot of times it's just
Right.
praise is enough to get him to do a lot of the
He
things
works
he does.
for my approval. He's really happy when,
Yeah.
good, and when
Yeah.
I say
Right.
no, he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's,
right,
it's a
right.
balance of praise, food,
Right.
toys.
So what did you think of my dog Jack? He does a pretty good
I
job.
think you have a
don't
better
think?
rollover than I have.
Oh, thanks for that. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you on the next Pet Department.
I know you do.